response to the rubbish of Daniel Haqiqatu, Part 1. Daniel shares a post saying, Ash'ari say, we are the majority of the Ummah. Wahhabi say, false. The majority of the Ummah is upon pure fitrah, which is our aqidah. Daniel says, Muslims don't need to delve into secondary aqidah debates or the details of Ash'ari, Maturidi, Athari, Salafi, and so on. Wahhabi say, no, you must study Kitab al-Tawheed to understand the correct meaning of Tawheed. Daniel says, if the majority of Muslims are upon fitrah, as you claimed against the Ash'aris, then they don't need to study Tawheed. They already know it by fitrah. Okay, Daniel, so of course I did not expect from you any deep knowledge in aqidah, since you're a complete jahil in these matters, talking about things you can't separate A from B in, and this post alone proves you're complete jahil in these matters. First of all, you saying that we so-called Wahhabis say that the majority of the Ummah are upon our aqidah, upon the fitrah, then we do not mean by this that the majority of the Ummah knows Tawheed al-Asma' wal-Sifat, wal-Uluhiyya, wal-Rububiyya. Who told you this? When we say this, we mean specific parts of the aqidah in which we have main beef with the Ash'aris and the Maturidis and all those Jahmis, like Uluwullahi, Allah being above the heavens, because this is from the fitrah. If I go to my town in Chechnya, because I'm from Chechnya, and ask any layman, may he be a woman or a man, where is Allah? Dale Micha'u. He will tell me, Sigla'uq, in the heavens, because he has the aqidah of the fitrah and have not been brainwashed with all the philosophical nonsense of the Ash'aris and Maturidis, and thus have this belief, have our aqidah. But if you ask him about Wahhabis, he will be the most hostile person to the Wahhabis, not knowing that his aqidah is the aqidah of the so-called Wahhabis, which we call the aqidah of the fitrah. This is what we mean when we say the majority is upon our aqidah. Second, Daniel quotes himself, Muslims don't need to delve into secondary aqidah debates. MashaAllah. Secondary aqidah debates. The asma and sifat of Rabbil Izzati are secondary aqidah debates. The same asma and sifat for which the Salafs used to takfir the Jahmis. The same asma and sifat of Rabbil Izzati for which Imam Ahmad went through so much pain and was so much persecuted. Or calling upon others than Allah, calling upon Ali, calling upon so-called awliya, worshipping graves. You know, all of those things, aqidah and asma of Allah, sifat of Allah, Quran, the Salafs, you know, they are secondary, throw them away. Let's talk about the main things. What are the main things? That Hezbollah and Iran are fighting Israel, that they are helping the Palestine and people of Gaza. MashaAllah, mujahids, the same Hezbollah that were persecuting and killing the Muslims in Iraq and Syria for having the same aqidah of the people of Gaza, of the Palestine. These are with whom we have to unite and take them as Muslims. These ikhwanis, I don't have words to describe these. Subhanallah, if not this app would take down my video, wallahi, I would show you my French. Number 3, Daniel says the Wahhabis say, no, you must study Kitab al-Tawheed to understand the correct meaning of Tawheed. We don't say that. Who have said that? But the Kitab of Tawheed of Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab is one of the easy books written and dedicated for the parts of the Tawheed that even laymen can read and understand. We never say that you have to necessarily read Kitab al-Tawheed to know the Tawheed. This is from your accusations, Daniel. If you say, then why do you teach the book of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab and not a book from the Salafs? Then we say that the Tawheed al-Uluhiyya was not violated at the times of the Salafs as it was violated at the times of Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, that they would dedicate an entire book for the Tawheed for the parts of Tawheed and Tawheed al-Uluhiyya as Sheikh Muhammad did, because at his times people used to call upon graves, call upon angels, call upon so-called awliya, worship graves. Some even Bedouins, they stopped believing in a day of judgment. It was chaos in the Jazirah al-Arabiya. People went back to Jahiliyyah. But the Salafs, for example, the Tawheed of Al-Asma' wa Sifat was violated, and thus they wrote dozens of books refuting the Jahmis. And if the Tawheed of Al-Uluhiyya would be violated, they would also dedicate dozens of books for this Tawheed. But it spread in the later centuries, and scholars like Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn al-Qayyim, and Ibn Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, they wrote about it. Okay? They wrote, but the Tawheeds were always there. The portion of the Tawheed was made by the early scholars, Ibn Munda, Ibn Battah. I can bring you many evidences. It's not something new we invented. And number 4, Daniel quotes himself again, if the majority of Muslims are on fitrah, as you claimed against the Ash'aris, then they don't need to study Tawheed. Again, this is from your complete jahl, Daniel, because when we say they are upon the fitrah, we don't mean that they know Tawheed al-Asma' wal-Sifat wal-Uluhiyya wal-Rububiyya. We don't mean that they know the portions of the Tawheed and so on. These things they have to teach, they have to learn these things. You don't even know what you're talking about, Daniel. Wallahi, this ignorance, you're wasting my time making me respond to your ignorance.
Какой-то устаз, значит, отправляет своего мурида отрезать голову собственного отца. Вот где этот устаз взял, может, Брамхаван знает, раз он написал так. Где взял этот хадис, этот устаз? Вот что, откуда он взял, что это вы отрезать эту голову от собственного отцу, отправить сына?
Да. Этот человек, устаз, хотел испытывать этого мурида, какой он подчинил ей. Он чувствовал, что именно с ее женой, с матерью находится человек, который харамом занимается. Он через Аллах Та'ala раскрыл ему, и он испытывал какое подчинение мурида. И он испытывал, и ему такой приказ давал. И он действительно сказал, идите убить твоего отца. И он туда поехал. Потом, подожди, ничего, нашел закрытый дверь, зашел через окошко, то, что в книгах написано, я просто перевел, я там только является переводчиком. И он через окошко зашел, ничего не смотрел, резал эту голову, с этой головой пришел к устазу, и вот тебе говорит. Устаз ему говорит, я же тебе шутил, говорит, просто я тебя испытывал, говорит. Почему ты этого сделал, говорит. Это твоя шутка тоже для меня, говорит, действительно, говорит.